All right, let's take a look at the indexes here. Starting with the S&P 500, as you can see that the index made a new all-time high on Friday. We could see also that these moving average clouds is indicating that it is currently on an uptrend. Now, keep watching this video. At the end of the video, I will show you some of the stuff that the market is telling us, whether this is the high or something else. So be sure to watch the entire video until the end. Let's go back to the what the market was projecting. See, on Tuesday, it basically move up above the upper range of the weekly expected move. We gapped up, as a matter of fact, right? And also, in addition to that, we have the June upper range is also got taken out as on the Friday new all-time high. So here is what we are looking at for the coming week. We are looking at a upper range of 62.52 and a half and 62.40. That's the upper range, and that is above the all-time high. Then we look at on the bottom, the lower range is 6105.20 and 6080, and that is just right beneath the upper range of the June, the monthly expected move. Now we have one more trading day before the end of June. That's Monday, June 30th. So we could easily see the price on Monday possibly pull back inside of this weekly range. In other words, dip below the upper range of the the monthly expected move for the SPX. So that's basically one of the possibilities that we'll be watching, is for the price to come back in and possibly come and check the lower range of the expected move to come down to the 6100 level. And depending on how it hold up at this 6100 level, we could see it once again come back down to the 6000 area, fill this gap, and test this zone here, this support area, and see if we get another bounce. So that is the possibility. The other possibility is that we could shoot right through and make another new all-time high, which I will tell you later on, is that a possibility or not. So that is the XPX. Now let's take a look at the ES, the E-mini S&P 500. As you can see, the price came down here to this high volume area and got a nice bounce back up into this high volume area. Remember, we were looking at this composite, and we see these high volume zone and also this low volume zone. And as you can see, the price basically did a one-time framing up and broke to this low volume zone and coming up into this high volume area now. So, and go back and look at where the market was pricing in for the past week. You see that it was pricing in 6128 area, and it took that out on Tuesday. And also for the month of June, again, we still have one more trading day, that is Monday tomorrow. And it's also gone above that monthly upper range of the expected move. And here's what the market is pricing in for the coming week. It is pricing in somewhere near the 6,300 on the upper range, and the 6150, 6112 and a half. So what we could see, again, just like the SPX, we could see a little bit of a pullback and come down to the lower range, and then possibly get a push back up into another all-time high, if that could be the case. And we see that here's these little bit of a doji spinning top, or NR7 candle. This is like the calm before the storm. We could have see it broke down, or in this case, it actually broke out and made a new all-time high. Beware of these type of candle pattern when we see a very narrow range of a candle or price range. We could expect, an expansion of the price, either up or down. So we got to be on the lookout for that. So right now, we're basically looking for the possibility of a little bit of a pullback and possibly come down to this 6122. And who knows, right? There's always that possibility of coming back down into this high volume zone and then chop around before it pushes back up or breaks down and come back down and get into this area to fill this gap down here. So we'll see what will take place in the coming week, but definitely there's going to be some action even in a shortened week next week. I believe, we have the Friday is 4th of July holiday, and on Thursday, I believe we are closing early. So there's a lot of things could possibly derail this market on the upside or on the downside. But these are the levels to keep an eye on. Is that 6,100 again on the downside, and possibly to a new all-time high, and maybe up to that 6,300 on the ES. And now here looking at the SPY, but before I go and talk about the price action and some of the level, let me first update the composite volume profile here. So before I forget, and show you that we actually have the value or the point of control shifted up. And so that means the market is accepting higher prices here. So that is significant because it tells us that the market is accepting higher prices. Now, as you can see that the price also came down to near this high volume area, and it got a nice bounce back up, took out this low volume area and filled in some volume down here, and pushed back up into a new all-time high. See, this right here is also building volume here as well as it moves up, and that could also signify there is some acceptance up here at these prices. Now, if it continued to build here, we could see a liquidation break that could bring it back down into this area here near the 600 area, and see would it be able to find support and bounce back up. Okay, so let's go and see what the market was pricing in and what it did last week. So you see that the price also broke to the monthly upper range and way above the weekly upper range. So that's what we saw the price. Again, this is basically the calm before the storm, and we saw it broke out of that on the upside and put in a new all-time high. Now, here's what the market is pricing in for the coming week. So what the market is pricing in somewhere around 622.20, 622.30 on the upside here. And then on the downside, basically a 607.60 and 604.50. Once again, is below the monthly upper range of the expected move. So maybe on Monday, we could see a pullback to pull back into this monthly range here, inside of this range to close out the month. And we could see a possibility of, testing this lower range, this 607, 604 area. So that's something to bear in mind for the, for the next day or so, as the market could pull back to digest a little bit of this, 5 consecutive update here. So that's a possibility of looking for that full pullback, or it could just, blow right through and come up to this 622 area, and that's also the possibility. But right now, those are the levels to keep an eye on. And here looking at the NQ, we also see the price broke to the monthly upper range and also the weekly upper range last week and put in a new all-time high. So for the coming week, we basically are looking for the market, which is pricing in these ranges here at on the upper range is 23,100 and 23,046 or so. And on the lower range is somewhere, here 22,433 and 22,325. So again, we're basically looking for a little bit of a pullback, possibly because of the end of the month. Maybe the market will try to pull this in, back into the monthly range. And if that is the case, then we'd be focusing on the lower range of the expected move for this coming week at 22,430, 22,325 area. Now, if it blow right to it, then we're basically looking for another possible all-time high to come up to this 23,000 level. And here looking at the QQQ, we could see that the price worked to this high volume zone here and broke out into a new all-time high and move above the the monthly upper range and also the weekly upper range. Now let me go and update this composite volume profile here to include some of these activity up here, and you can see that it is getting a little bit extended here on this volume profile. So we could see a little bit of a possible liquidation break, or if it move right up, then it could take out that possibility. And here's what the market is pricing in for the coming week. So you can see that the market is pricing in somewhere around 557 on the upside, 557, 555.70. And on the low side, the lower range is 540.40 and 537.50. And also it is just below the monthly upper range. So what we can see on the possible liquidation break is come down to this low range at the 540, 537 area and possibly work yourself down and fill this gap. Now, you notice that this high volume area is getting expanded here. So we could see the possibility of come down, test this edge and push back up, or work into this area and come down to the lower edge of this high volume zone. So we're going to keep an eye on this pullback or the possibility of a pullback or the basically and come back up and push into a new all-time high. So we do see a little bit, like I said earlier, possibility of overextended on the long side, and we could see a little bit of a consolidation by pulling back before it possibly push up into the new high. So that's basically what we are looking at for the coming week. Now, here's what the market is telling us. Thank you for watching. If you like the content, be sure to give it a thumbs up. And if you are new to this channel, click the subscribe icon to subscribe and help support this channel. Now, for more content from me, go visit my newsletter at smtraderCA.substack.com. You will find trade ideas, daily trade plans, weekly market review and analysis, trading tutorial and strategies, and much more in my newsletter, The Pulse of the Market. And the link is smtraderCA.substack.com. And if you are a paid subscriber, then you are in for a treat. So stay tuned.